Hey guys, what's up? Mobby here, and wow, I just finished watching the Nintendo Direct for June 21st, 2023, and this 40-minute showcase of Switch games, upcoming games, is coming off the heels of all of those other presentations, you know, the Microsoft one, the Bethesda one, but I think this one got me really excited. They came out with a lot of games that I liked, so I'm gonna go over a good amount of them. There's around, I would say we're gonna cover around 70% of them. There was some stuff that they announced that I just don't have a gigantic interest for, but one of them in particular I got crazy goosebumps for, and I'll be explaining why when we get into it. So let's start with the presentation. Let me know what you guys think of it down below. Some games you aren't particularly excited for, or you just don't care for, but man, whenever these Nintendo Directs come on, even if it's not just these gigantic ones, but even the indie Directs, I'm really excited for these games. So the first thing that they announced is a Pokemon DLC for the Scarlet and Violet. It's called the Hidden Treasures of Area Zero. It's coming in two parts, the Teal Mask part and then the Indigo Disc, where the first part, it's kind of like some sort of, Shaggy's barking, it's like some sort of festival event with some new sort of regional Pokemons, and then the Indigo Disc one, where you go to a new school, a new gigantic region, a futuristic stuff. So, dude, I'm not gonna lie, I totally forgot that freaking Scarlet and Violet existed. How many of you guys are still playing it? I played it for the first week it came out, but then after that, I kind of dropped it. The next thing that they talked about that excited me was Persona 5 Tactica. Now, this is not the first time we've seen the reveal of this, but this is more footage of the game. It looks really cool, and they even showed off a little bit more of the Persona mechanics. It's so amazing that they're actually bringing back in just the Persona, you know, crafting, breeding, and mixing that they have in the Persona series, because it's a tactics game, and I thought you were primarily going to be using the main characters with specific personas, but no, it looks like you can mix and match even more, so that's really amazing. The next interesting game they showed off was something called Mythforce. Now, this one, first time I've ever heard about it, and this is a first-person dungeon crawler. You can play co-op or solo, it seems, but what really got me interested in is the cartoonish style. They say it's kind of like a Sunday morning cartoon style, which is pretty sweet. The only thing that I think it's a little weird is if they're harping on, wow, this is an amazing, crazy art style. Why is it first person? Because you can't really see your character. Like, I'm sure you can choose like different character genres and types, but then you won't be able to see yourself for the most part. So I don't know about that. Now, this game, guys, as soon as it popped up, it showed Peach sitting right in front of Mario's house with music, and I knew what was happening. The music popped up because that's the same scene and music when you first start the game. Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars is being, I guess you can call it a remaster or a remake. I would call it a remake. It's just being called Super Mario RPG. It is dropping the Legend of the Seven Stars tagline, I think, but this is a completely redone, overhauled look of my favorite Mario game of all time and one of my top 10 games of all time, Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, where this is the first ever sort of game where, you know, Mario, Nintendo, and Square at the time, you know, I guess, yeah, Square Enix combined its forces and they made something here with some original characters like Malo and Gino. A nice story. I beat this game dozens of times as a kid on my Super Nintendo, and I beat it recently a couple times on stream because I just love it so much. So this one looks really, really good. I have to go back and look at the gameplay trailer again, but they showed off pretty much almost every single area in the game, all the cutscenes, all the major bosses. But I did notice on my first glance that during battle, there is some sort of new sort of system there. There was like a circle with a percentage bar that seems to go up. I'm gonna guess it's a rage bar or something like that, where you take damage, enemy hits you, and then it probably goes up and you do some sort of super attack. That's what I'm gonna guess. So I gotta go back and look at that trailer again. But yes, I'm playing this day freaking one. I'm gonna review it. I'm gonna beat it. I think the last time I played the game, it took me around 8 to 12 hours to beat. So I hope this one has even more, maybe just, you know, it doesn't have to add anything crazy new, just a little bit more gameplay would be great, a little bit more like Easter egg stuff. But yeah, Super Mario RPG, it's coming out in November, by the way, so very, very, very close, less than 5 months coming in. Next game, it's not a giant game, but I do want to mention it. Gloomhaven's coming to freaking Switch. Now, I recently got into Gloomhaven. I bought the freaking board game. I played a little bit of it, and then I played the PC version. I stopped playing it because it was so laggy whenever I tried to record footage. I uploaded the footage unlisted on my channel because I don't know if I'm ever gonna do anything with it. But basically, I stopped playing it because it was too laggy. It doesn't lag all the time. Like, if you look it up, a lot of people would say it's just like bad resource management, especially on specific maps. But I have to mention this because even on the Switch footage that they showed, assuming that is Switch footage, it looked crazy laggy already. So, dude, I feel like when this game comes out, it's not going to sell well because it's a very niche genre itself, and because it's going to be very, very, very poorly optimized. Unless they could do something crazy, but I don't know, man. I don't have high hopes for the Gloomhaven port. Okay, another new game that they showed, first time hearing about this one too, called Silent Hope. This one has art style, chibi, dungeon crawling, action, over the top down, but it's a roguelike. It's another game that it's right on my alley. It's from XC, so I freaking, anything these guys publish, I like. So this one I'm interested in. I will be playing this one 100%. The next game that they showed is, well, I guess we can mention Fae Farm again. It's probably like the third time we're seeing footage of it, but this one, I'm going to mention it because they showed a little bit more footage. I like Harvest Moon games, I like Stardew Valley, and I really like Rune Factory, where it's not just farming, not just the romance stuff, but it's a little bit of action too. So the reason I'm talking about this one, because it's starting off as a console exclusive on Switch. So I guess we'll be playing it on Switch day one. Okay, and then the second game I was super excited about was this one called Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince. I love the Dragon Quest series, but this one in particular, the spin-offs, the Dragon Quest Monsters, I remember playing it so many hours as a kid on my Game Boy, where you're playing as like Terry and then grabbing monster medals, going through randomized dungeons and fighting through different tournaments. So this is exactly like that. And Dragon Quest Joker, whoever played that one on the DS, yeah, this is another new entry into the monster collecting game, and it looks like it's following the same sort of formulas if you look at the trailer here. So this one's coming out December, so we're having a lot of new games coming out, and I'm still working my way through a lot of other ones. The freaking Tears of the Kingdom, I'm like 30 to 40 hours in, but we're still making tons of videos. If you are interested, so you guys should subscribe to my secondary channel. It's called Mobby vs. Games 2. It's my Let's Play channel. Link down below. I'm uploading everything over there. And then Pikmin 4, they showed a lot more gameplay. So it looks to be sort of like the same plot. You are a character from this rescue sort of group. You have a dog called Ochi who can help you fight, has his own HP bar. You can go to the underground now. They showed some sort of competitive mode. I don't know if that was multiplayer or if it was some sort of just in-game mini-game that you fight other sort of characters. And then you have a base camp where you're going to be upgrading your tools and Ochi, and night expeditions where they have a new Pikmin called the Glow Pikmin. So actually, it looks good. It honestly looks like 1, 2, and 3. They showed off a little bit of it. The first and second game, which is available now digitally on Switch, so that's wonderful if you never played those before. And the reason why they're not putting the third one on there is because I guess that one technically released relatively recently. So yeah, Pikmin 4 looks good. I'm not excited for it, but I might play it day one. I don't know. Next game they showed off was Vampire Survivors for Switch. Now, I don't know if a Vampire Survivors already. I'm gonna quickly look this one up. Vampire Survivors co-op. Are there co-op? So I think if there's no co-op on because I'm looking, it doesn't look like on Switch it's co-op at all. So I mean, sorry, it looks like on PC there's no co-op. So if you get it on Switch, it's up to 4-player co-op. This is cool. This game is amazing. I love this game. I got on PC. I have it on my phone. It's free on your phone with ads, of course, unless you want to, pay out for that. But it's interesting to see what they're gonna do with the co-op mode. Is it gonna be upkept, the Switch version? And if so, what is it? Is it gonna scale up to how many players you have, or is it just gonna be a gigantic rollover, pushover? Like, what's gonna happen? How is it gonna work? Vampire Survivors, wonderful that they started the genre, like they really pushed it to the foray. Because I'm playing tons and tons of Vampire Survivor clones, dude. There's just so many, and I'm glad this one's still getting around. So good on them. Another quick one I want to mention. It's a tiny game, but I want to talk about it because it's funny. Headbangers Rhythm Royale. You play as pigeons. It's a sort of mini game, musical type of thing. It was freaking hilarious because I was watching this direct with my fiance, and she was eating food, but she's like looking down to eating food. As soon as the this game comes up, she just started staring at it, the pigeon stuff, and I'm like, wow, you're really enthralled with this, huh? She's just like, it's freaking pigeons, it's funny. So yeah, it's a funny idea. I don't think it's gonna sell well. I don't know if anyone's gonna play this, but it does look funny. Okay, the next game, Penny's Big Breakaway. This one, they made a note to mention in the trailer that it was from the development team who did the Sonic Mania games. This is their own original sort of IP. This is an action platformer that looks to, you know, might take a lot of inspiration from the Blue Blur himself. It's like a lot of running around, fast, jumping around. These penguins who have a color scheme of like Sonic. I think it's cool, but I don't know. I feel like these past couple of years, I'm just not too, you know, interested in action platformers anymore. I think the last big one I played that I was interested in was A Hat in Time, but then after that, I didn't even finish that one. But every time I play these games, you know, these collectathons, different world stuff, I'm just not too into them anymore. Next game they showed off, Star Ocean, the Second Story R. I have not played a single Star Ocean game before. This one looks good. It has that 2D HD look, and I like how the combat is real time. Reminds me of like the older Tales games. So I'll be looking at this. Looks amazing. Next game, new entry of the WarioWare franchise. This one's called Move It. So it's interesting because it has over 200 mini games, and a lot of the sort of moves you do in the game are literal Switch controls that you have to do. So they did stuff like wiggling around, you know, throwing things around. It's interesting. The last Warrior game I think I played was the GameCube one. That was really amazing, and the Game Boy one. So it's cool. I'll probably check it out because it's just one of those party games that, you know, you're hanging out with family. Maybe you don't want to play board games. Maybe you don't want to watch anything on the TV. So you just play some Switch games. And this one looks to be one that goes well with it. The last thing they showed off was, well, I had no idea this was coming. So this one's called Super Mario Bros. Wonder. This is a new 2D Mario game, single player, 2, 3, 4 players. Mario, Daisy, Peach, Luigi. You can play as Yoshi, and it looks to be another banger. I'm not gonna lie, Super Mario Bros. Wii U was a amazing game. You know, anything that's 2D and Mario, they do well. But I feel like with this game, they had to go all out insane. They have a bunch of mechanics in here, a lot of interesting ideas that you just cannot do within the Super Mario Maker. And I think that was their goal there, because they gave people so many tools with Mario Maker 1 and Mario Maker 2 that I guess if they came out with something basic, anyone could have been like, I could just make that. We can just make those levels. So they made this one insane with a bunch of new mechanics, like grabbing the Wonder Mushroom, which changes the world around you, making things move, enemies just look so crazy abstract. And then at the end of it, they showed Mario grabbing another new power-up that turned him into an elephant. I don't know what it can do, but it looks interesting. And yeah, I'll be playing this one. I said I was a little meh on action platformers, but I meant specifically the collectathon stuff. The one where it's just action left to right, even some Metroidvanias. I'm still down to play those ones. So that was it for the Nintendo Direct for June 21st, 2023. There are some extra things I did not talk about, but like once again, these are just the ones that I was interested in and had something to say about. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. So the big 3 games out of this that I talked about that I'm super crazy interested in, it's going to be Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Dragon Quest Monsters The Dark Prince, and Super Mario RPG. They dropped the Legend of the 7 Stars tag, but oh, I got goosebumps when it came on. I can't wait to freaking play it. So I just wanted to give you guys my little thoughts and first reactions, because I just got finished watching it. Let me know what you guys think of anything that you saw. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.